Hey, everybody! It's Will and Mark coming at you, discussing relationships and how to create better opportunities for yourself. Like Mark, in modern day time, with everything that's going on, coronavirus, inflation, recessions, deflation, the last thing people want to really focus on and worry about, you would think, is relationships, right? Or they're worrying about it more because of the stress
Right.
that you're going through on a day-to-day basis. So I think more people are apt to want to find that mate, to have somebody in a foxhole
Mm-hmm.
to help them, like mentally and emotionally, spiritually, and probably financially too, through
Right.
these tough, enduring times.
Right. Right. I guess that can lead us into how do people create opportunity, right? Like how do individuals create an opportunity to open the door for them meeting a partner, right? So how does that? Listen, I think that's kind of a good one because I feel like that can help individuals kind of look at things differently, right? Because it's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
It's not easy in no regards because,
Mm-hmm.
again, like so many people are emotionally scarred. So many people aren't open in the sense of allowing someone else in because probably because of past experience, past trauma.
Yeah.
People don't really get counseling before they transition to another relationship. It's like they go into a relationship already scarred from a previous, and then they bring that emotional baggage to a brand new relationship. It's so many different variables when you start talking about creating opportunities because it's like if you get to a certain age, you know what you're looking for.
Right.
You're not really out here trying to chase, but as men, we still love attention. We still love affection. You want someone that's going to mentally stimulate you in the sense of, compliments or stimulate you in the sense of making you feel like guess what? You're that man that
Mm-hmm.
any woman would want. That again, you add value to that woman and so you're looking when you're trying to find that perfect partner, you're looking for someone that's going to add value in your current state of what you're doing. So I don't think people really take it from a cerebral approach anymore, or
Mm-hmm.
it's just really more so what can you do to accommodate my needs in the now.
Right. Right. Um, I guess with online dating, right, and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, how do you open that door? And so, if I look at it this way, is that if you see somebody that's on Instagram that you like, right, the chances are that one that when you message them, they're never gonna see it. You know what I mean? They don't
Right.
really, they're not gonna go back and look at that, right? So you're just like a drop in the water, right? You're nothing, right?
Right.
And then I think the other portion of it is that potentially like a guy's running that account for his chick, right? Or some it could be something like that. I mean, and the reason I say that part is because I did that for my ex, right? So I basically built her account and built her up and all that kind of stuff, and I would be the person that would be sitting there responding. So I mean, creating opportunity in those scenarios, I mean, it's definitely difficult, right? Like I think the biggest thing is that and this may or may not work, right? It's something that you got to be okay with, right? You can't sit there and just like hang all your hopes and dreams on this one person, right? Like you
Right.
won't I mean, you may not even make that connection, right? So if you message that person and they don't respond, chances are they're never going to see it, right? But the way I look at it is that, I mean, to open that door and to open opportunity is kind of see what the individual is passionate about, right?
Right.
And try to express those passions. And I think that could lead somewhere potentially, right? But it's only going to work though if you're passionate about what that individual is truly doing and you're into that, right? Not because it's a look that you like, because that shit doesn't matter, right?
No,
That
not at
shit's gonna
all.
fade in years,
It
right?
is.
None of that shit matters.
Or it might fade in the moment because I've seen a lot of people that,
That's
from
right.
a physical perspective, oh my God, like their body was like the bomb, and then
Online, right?
online, and then you meet them
Yeah,
like fucking filters, bro.
yeah, man. Like,
And it's like you go out to eat, they're eating everything off the buffet, they're eating everything off the apple. Like you already know that that's not sustainable
right,
long term.
right,
So what else does that person provide for you that's going to make you look at that person every day when you wake up and be like, this is my goddess, this is my empress, this is my everything. Like it has to be more tied into than just the physical.
right, right. No, and there has to be absolutely right. And I think that's kind of opening that door, right, to someone that you may see, right, and then kind of sharing the passion, right? See what they're doing, see what the kind of stuff they're into.
Right.
If they're into rock climbing, horses, and you share that same kind of passion, right?
Yes.
Well, maybe that's your way that you can open that door. But if that person isn't doing anything, like if they're just posting pictures and you're just looking at what that person wants you to see, right?
Correct.
Like it's nothing more than that, right? Like,
Right.
and I feel like a lot of dudes get hung up on that, right? Like it's very easy to get hung up
A
on that,
vast
right?
majority, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It's and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
You can fan like anybody, right? Like that's fine, right? But the thing is, if you're trying to open that door to date that individual, right? The chances are, like I said, if they're seeing somebody else is running that account, you're not even gonna get noticed, right?
Right.
So, to open that door, right? I think it comes down to passion,
I
right?
agree.
Like, is there some kind of passion that we can bond on? That we can basically build something together, right?
Right.
And maybe that can open that door too. So, for example, if there was a female out there that rode mountain bikes, right? I like riding mountain bikes, so maybe if she shares that same kind of passion, then potentially I could open that door, right? But if I don't even share that passion, then what's the point?
Correct.
Like I'm literally gonna just try to message her just to try to get something out of her. Like
Correct.
that doesn't make sense to me, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
and a lot of guys probably sit there and do that, expecting to get a response, right?
Right. Right.
Okay.
And the thing is, one thing we've talked about a lot is that, like, on social media and on these dating apps, a lot of these profiles, I believe, are fake.
Yep. 100%.
And so when you're so focused on the physical, you really lose in touch with the abstract, or you lose touch with the real true meaning of when you're trying to date or what you're looking for. Because at some point you got to get tired of having a stable full of women and not really getting to know any of them.
Absolutely.
Like I just think that if you pour that time and energy into that one person, and that person meets everything that you're looking for, that should be it.
Right.
Like in a normal world, that should be it. But I think
Right.
so many people, because it's so easy to have somebody over here, then 30 minutes over here,
Mm-hmm.
or
That's a lot of work, man. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of work.
How can you be on the phone with this person? How can you spend time with this person? It's just not humanly possible.
Right. Right. If and this is kind of what I'm thinking too, right? Like if someone is doing that, and like in the younger generation, they may be doing that, right? But I know people that are in the younger generation too that are turning away women so they could focus on making money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and I respect that so much. Like I think. I think that like a lot of people aren't doing that. They're focused on, okay, like you said, like here, right?
Mhm.
And that's great. That's gonna sit there and fix like at the moment small things, right? But like in the big picture, it's like, man, let's focus on career or true passions in life, right? And make that bond to become a powerhouse like we talked about earlier,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
But going back on the trying to create the opportunity with people, and let me take it away from like Instagram. Let's talk about like maybe you see somebody out, right? You see somebody out walking, you're interested in her, or maybe you see her individual running, right? Well, do you share the same passion that she has, right? You don't know that, right? But you can sit there and open the door and talk to someone. And I really, the reason I'm saying that is I feel like we've gone away from those simple conversations, right? And it's okay to have that conversation. And you know what? That person may say, hey, I don't want to talk. Just like a lot of women, they don't want to talk like when they're in the gym. I know that. I respect that. And I think that a lot of guys just don't respect that. They don't. They really think that they're there to kind of have a conversation, right, and all that kind of stuff. But legit, they're sitting there trying to work out and they're trying to get their work on. So you're just basically keeping them from something. So is that going to piss that person off? Probably, yeah. It's going to annoy them, right?
Absolutely.
So maybe that door can be opened up like after they leave. But when they're in the middle of doing it, right, like that's the worst time you can sit there and interrupt like a woman.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's just kind of something I see. So.
Look, absolutely. So I'm really feeling this whole creating opportunities, because if we give people the blueprint, I think that we can create some harmonious relationships, and then we can save a lot of hurt and pain.
Absolutely.
I feel that. So we definitely got to do a second segment here
Okay.
shortly.
Let's do it.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.